All right, we are here to start a completely new TV show, Jake.
No way.
Yeah, we're going to be starting Torchwood.
Wow.
So for any of you that are joining us fresh, that because there's some people that like see this show first, it does happen. So for any of you who don't know, I'm Connor. This is Jake. We do reactions to Doctor Who, and we're now starting Torchwood. We're doing it sort of in the in-universe order that I've sort of mapped out a little bit. But yeah, we're starting Torchwood, which is a Doctor Who spin-off, but it is its own show in its own right as well. So I think the most interesting thing for me is just the fact that I've barely anything about it have I even mentioned to you about what this show is. The only things that you know about it are what you've seen from the main show, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, do you have any anticipations going into Torchwood?
No, I got no clue what it's about.
No, nothing about it.
I mean, I know that it's an anagram for Doctor Who, but
Yeah.
that's as far as my knowledge about it goes.
Right. Well, before we get into it, I do have a very important question for you. What's the difference between a well-dressed man on a unicycle and a poorly dressed man on a bike?
A wheel.
You got close.
Okay.
A tire.
Oh. That's a good one.
Oh,
That's a good one.
it's so clever. It's so clever.
Now that one's a good one.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yes. So just to reiterate, you have no idea what the show is, what it's about,
No idea.
what the tone will be, anything.
No,
You know nothing. Oh,
No, nothing.
that's always a satisfying feeling when you've got completely blind. So right, well, I obviously because of that, I have nothing else to say before we start because there isn't. It's just Torchwood. It's a Doctor Who spin-off, and that's all you need to know for now until you let the episode unfold for you what this show is. So, are you ready to start Torchwood, episode 1 of series 1, which is called Everything Changes?
Oh, Russell.
What's happening there then?
Aye, aye.
Torchwood.
Oh.
Look who it is, Jake. Do you recognize that face?
Is it him? Is it really him?
There's no procedure anymore. It's a fucking disgrace.
That was an F-bomb.
I was.
And that is Captain Jack Harkness.
It's him! He's back!
He's back.
Or was he ever gone?
So how'd you feel about that? An F-bomb in a Doctor Who show?
I mean, let's go. I'm ready. We're getting a bit more mature in this.
Estrogen. Definitely estrogen.
Estrogen.
Goes all the way up into the sky.
Thanos.
Goes all the way... Love this planet. Still at least I won't get pregnant. Never doing that again.
Nothing yet. It grants me access.
Whatever that means.
It's like
Oh, why do they do these to poor actors?
I saw nothing. Oh my god, there's nothing.
Oh no.
Maybe there's no right way of doing it. What do you think?
Oh, isn't it great to have him back? Captain
good.
Jack Harkness. Oh, I love the music in this show.
They said in the news, murder in the city centre. Were you there?
no. I'll see you in a minute.
You got the Welsh accents. You love Welsh accents, don't you?
Yeah, I love it.
It's like Mr. Sneed, the TV show.
Yeah. Wales is just so interesting.
Captain Jack Harkness, can you check him out?
I'm busy, there's proper channels, Gwen. Sort of captain. Don't know.
Oh, the comedy is so much more like adult, you know?
Yeah.
It's really witty.
Who are they? What's Torchwood?
Don't know. Special ops?
Yeah, but what is that?
CSI Cardiff.
But you take like like that CSI bomb.
I just mentioned it. I just fucking mentioned it. Whoa!
What the f... It's popping off in here. Oh shit. It's definitely moving in a different pace and a different tone to any Doctor Who.
It's a lot more grounded.
Bloody hell, that is brilliant. That's like,
Oh boy.
Lots of blood. What have I just seen? The height of the Blitz. If you remember that. The London
Yeah.
Blitz and the Doctor dances.
I remember.
Oh, love that. The way it all links.
Oh,
I'm talking to you. Excuse me.
this is where Boomtown was, eh?
Mm-hmm. Glad you remembered.
Like this exact spot.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is where the rift is.
Yeah.
Walked. I have bloody walked.
There was a man. I'm telling you. There was this porter who was an
It sounds like Norwegian a little bit.
Oh, they were being watched just then.
Call it hop, hop.
He just seems like a nice bloke.
Yeah, he's a bit of a good guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Drinking tea, making dinner. What a man. Why does she look very familiar?
Should I tell you?
Is she in something I've watched?
She was in The Unquiet Dead.
Ah,
She played Gwyneth in The Unquiet Dead, which was the episode
yeah.
where they introduced the rift.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
it's actually quite an interesting link.
yeah.
And you should recognize all the other cast as well, because Bern Gorman and Indira Varma were in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And also Tosh was in Aliens of London. She was the doctor that was looking at the pig.
Don't keep on waiting.
Torchwood as a receptionist.
Oh.
I can't do this. I'm sorry. I'm rubbish. I give up.
He sent me.
Who the hell orders pizza under the name of Torchwood?
Yeah, that'd be me.
What was that? Pterodactyl.
Are you coming?
There you go.
Captain Jack Harkness.
Toad Jones. Yanto cleans up after us and gets us everywhere on time. I try my best. And he looks good in a suit.
Careful. That's harassment, sir.
Why are you telling me? I'm getting tired of following you.
No, you're not. And you never will. Stand on here.
Oh, he looks so good in that jacket.
Next to me. Nice night. Ooh, and lo we are perceived. Only transcendental chameleon circuit placed right on this spot, which welded its perception properties to a spectrum.
And that would be the TARDIS?
I show you something fantastic. You find fault.
So people must fall through it then.
Yeah, the music is really good.
That's a lot of alcohol.
A lot of beer.
Captain Jack Harkness.
Oh, there it is. Ah.
You sure about that, Jack?
Oh, hold on a second here.
Jack's not being a good boss. Or not knowing.
He's being a little bit lax, isn't he?
This is Torchwood 3.
Or he's been lied to.
Torchwood 1 was
Sure.
London.
Then I'll tell someone.
Do you want to do that? Do you really want us to come and find them too?
You bastard.
Language. Nice knowing you, Gwen Cooper.
Captain Jack Harkness.
She could just write it all down.
What do you think she's about to do?
Write it all down.
Oh, what a sexy man.
Oh yeah. Well, there you go. Oh, this guy.
Do you want a drink? Or what?
Alien technology, eh?
Oh boy. Used in the greatest way.
You're coming home with me.
I mean, it is rape.
It's
Technically.
true. Technically is.
Colin, back left. He's mine.
You want to have a go, do you? You want to have a go? Come on, mate.
Nice easier.
I'm so happy.
I'm having it.
Taxi!
He's having a threesome.
Oh no.
What a badass. Just standing on a building.
That's so ridiculous. He's Ezio.
Yeah.
Hope you didn't drive when that's did. Who are you with? Diane?
What a great boyfriend.
On the lash.
This episode is such like visually captivating direction,
Yeah.
you know? Ah. Wales Millennium Centre.
Right. So much good now, I can't really. You're gonna put up a fight, so I've got. Hold on, sorry. And that's why the perception filter isn't gonna work on me.
Oh shit.
Who is he? Where did he come?
Oh shit. Oh fuck. What the hell?
Should nowhere else to go.
This isn't some kid show, dude.
One day I'll find a doctor, the right sort of doctor, and maybe he can explain it. But until then,
Nothing kills you?
well, it freaks people out. So.
What the fuck's that pterodactyl doing?
Okay, Russell. Okay.
Well, aside from that random pterodactyl just appeared. All right, your initial thoughts on Everything Changes.
That was much different to what I was expecting. Way different.
It's more adult. It's darker.
Yeah. Definitely more not more serious. I mean, more serious, but like
It was darker.
more darker. Yeah,
Mm.
sure.
It's grittier, grounded.
Yeah.
I think it's excellent.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
I thought it was a captivating way to start the show.
Definitely.
To make, and what's great about it for me is that it has just the right balance between being connected to Doctor Who but also being its own show,
Yeah.
and that it just gets it right on the money.
Well, like it's connected to Doctor Who, but like there's still so much that's not explained from Doctor Who what it is. So it's just a complete own entity of itself.
Yeah.
That you're still got to figure out.
Yeah, so it's an interesting scenario for this show because originally Russell T Davies was going to do a crime show in Wales based around a lead character that Captain Jack Harkness is, and it was just going to be like a sort of it was going to be non-sci-fi, and then he got the green light to revive Doctor Who, and so he couldn't do that show. But then he ended up having Captain Jack's character appear in Doctor Who, and then from that he decided he was going to do the show anyway, but have it be sci-fi and have it be a Doctor Who spin-off.
Right.
So a lot of what you get in Torchwood anyway was going to happen as its own show, but now that Davies is showrunning Doctor Who, he's made it connected, which is like upped the ante even more.
Yeah.
So we will start with the two main characters. That would be Gwen Cooper and Captain Jack Harkness.
Yeah. I think yeah, I didn't realize wait, where did you say Gwen Cooper was from?
So the actress Eve Miles, she played a character called Gwyneth from The Unquiet Dead, which was also set by The Rift.
Yeah. That was Sneed in it, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mr. Sneed.
That Bell's way back in time.
She was the one that saw the bad wolf in the rift.
Yeah.
Inside Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all.
Yeah.
It's all
I thought, but I mean, anyway, Gwen Cooper in this show was great. Really well acted. Really really captivating. Like,
she was such a good point of view character, you know.
Sorry, such a good what?
She was such a good point of view character.
Yeah. And like the best advice to introduce us to that to the new show, because she didn't know what was going on. So her unraveling all these things meant that it's being slowly introduced to us made sense. Like, because we know who Jack Harkness is already. Well, if you've watched Doctor Who, you know who Jack Harkness is. So seeing him, you kind of know the connection to what's happened before.
It's interesting though, because even if you hadn't seen Doctor Who, it still serves as like a good mystery for who this guy is.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of both. You get like a different experience either way.
Yeah.
And also, even if you have seen Doctor Who, there's a whole mystery around like what's happened in between the last time we saw him and now.
Yeah. And why is he there, and what purpose are they serving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously Gwen Cooper is a policewoman, and basically she spots the incident where they use the glove to resurrect that guy. And of course the mystery around it was who killed him, and obviously it was one of the Torchwood members. It was Susie Costello who did it.
Yeah.
One thing about Susie that I really liked was how, and it was delivered really quickly at the end with a lot of dialogue, but I loved how it established that she had no other way, and like even though it's so grim, her suicide was believable.
Yeah, it made sense. Yeah,
because
it was either lose everything in her life or lose her life.
Yeah,
which made sense.
Like she had literally no escape from that point. She knew that she wasn't going to get away there, and she explained it all.
Yeah,
and I love that. Also, I think I mentioned it in the reaction, but the actress who plays Susie, Indira Varma, was in Game of Thrones. She played Ilaria Sand. She played Ilaria Sand. She was the wife of Oberyn Martell.
Yep.
And also Bern Gorman, who plays Owen Harper, he was Carl Tanner in Game of Thrones.
Carl Tanner.
He was the one who raided Craster's Keep, and he killed Geo Mormont as well.
Yeah, I
believe. Or maybe that was Rast, but I know that he killed Craster, and I remember he drank out of Geo Mormont's skull. Geo fucking Mormont. He was the one that was the sexual seducer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a bit about those two characters in this. I agree, like, her suicide made a lot of sense to everything that was going on. It wasn't, like, there to be overly dramatic, you know? And it didn't really linger on it too much as well.
Yeah.
Like, and I like that, I guess there wasn't much remorse for it, because what she did was such a bad act as well. So, not to say her suicide was justified, but justice had to be done in some
Well,
way.
I mean, it wasn't necessarily justified, but it made sense
Yeah,
why she did it,
yeah,
and it was a natural twist.
yeah.
But yeah, very dark. Like
It was very dark.
This show, obviously, the parental rating is much higher. It's like R16 or something. But yeah, it's a much darker show. It's got swearing. It's got like sexual themes. It's got violence, like blood, murder, suicide. It's quite dark.
Yeah.
And I thought this was a captivating like introduction.
Yeah.
Like you got
It was very.
you got to know all this
It was
stuff.
still like a short introduction to it. Like there was only just uncovered everything. Yeah.
Yeah. One other character we haven't mentioned, it was Toshika Sato, and her character actually did appear in Doctor Who, in Aliens of London, the first episode of the Slitheen two-parter, when the Doctor goes to that hospital to find that pig, and it was like the pig head that was put on a.
I remember you saying something when we watched that.
Yeah. Yes.
Didn't you?
Yeah. So I remember she was inspecting the pig, and then the Doctor disappeared.
Yeah.
And that was her. That was Tosh. She was actually
Right.
her character actually appeared before, so there's interlinking there as well.
Yeah.
The only character that doesn't really interlink is Yanto Jones, who was the receptionist.
Yeah.
Though there is in some respects there is kind of a link, but I can't say what it is yet until we get to a certain episode.
Okay.
But yeah, Yanto Jones, the receptionist, there was a little line between him and Jack about like sexual harassment because Jack said he looked good in a suit. Jack was great because he had the same flirtatious personality he had before, but it's much more like honest.
Yeah.
You know,
It was less cartoonish, right?
yeah. I mean, I love him in Doctor Who as the action man. Like that was great. I love him in that. But in this, it definitely felt like he was more of a like character, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he actually showed a lot of deviousness to him, which is different to what we've seen before. I mean, obviously with the Empty Child and the Doctor Dances, he was a con man. He did trick them into believing that the hospital ship was something else.
Yeah.
But having said that, we hadn't ever seen this kind of thing from him before.
Yeah.
And I thought John Barrowman completely pulled it off. Like, he was such an interesting... Like, his performance was quite enigmatic in a way. In a sense of, like, we've seen this character before, but there's something about him that's changed.
Yeah. Well, and also playing him in a new atmosphere and a new environment of story. Like, the adaptation's very... It makes a lot of sense, and he doesn't feel out of place, even though we know him as that cartoonish,
Yeah, interesting that
action-packed guy.
an American in Wales doesn't feel out of place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought it was a really solid introduction to all the characters. I know some people are a bit like they were a bit put off by when Owen went to that bar and like seduced that couple.
Yeah.
But that's kind of his character, you know. He's a bit of a slime ball, bit of a seed.
Right.
The other main character we got in this was Gwen's partner, Reese. And from what we can tell, he was just a really nice guy, wasn't he?
It's a good bloke.
Yeah.
It's a good bloke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool. He's just making dinner and watching
Making
TV.
dinner, making coffee.
Yeah, he's like, looking after her health.
Yeah.
It's cool. The only other ones I can really think of, like, there's a couple of people, like the police characters. They didn't have that
Yeah.
much, but they had
Police partner and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they had some good comedic moments.
I walked.
And then there was obviously the Weevil as well that made a brief appearance.
Yeah. It's funny how they both just fucking walked up to it and were like, good mask. Very nice mask.
And then the Weevil bites the guy's neck open. That was,
Absolutely demolishes him.
yeah. But yeah, what did you think of like all the Welshness to it?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it wasn't like overly Welsh. It was like Mr. Sneeders, but it
Yeah.
was a.
Well, it felt a bit more like actual Welsh people in a crime
It
show,
felt-
you
it-
know?
Yeah, we're just in you were just in Cardiff and you were just following around some cops.
Mm.
And
Well, I think that
Yeah.
one of the biggest differences, even though there is obviously the sci-fi element to Torchwood, one of the biggest differences between Doctor Who and Torchwood is I feel like Doctor Who is a lot more like imaginative and like it's very unreal, but that's great about it. Like it's got this grounded drama in it, but it's this very magical, unreal show that you can sort of escape to. Whereas I feel like Torchwood is a lot more real. It feels more like real life than Doctor Who does. You get what I'm saying?
more relatable.
And I think
Yeah.
I think the bleakness of it and also all the human characters does that.
Yeah.
It-
And knowing where they are, like being able to visualize in some way where they could be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a nice balance, I think.
Yep.
But in terms of the plot, I thought it was fantastic. Just great,
Yeah.
great way to unravel all the information, and it was
Yeah.
captivating.
It's just a very well done intro to something that, you know, as a basis of a story is going to be relatively in depth. So you need something that can introduce it, but take all the points of it and sum it up, summarize it, but not give away too much of one point. You know, just you kind of know the little bits about it. There's different Torchwoods around the world.
Yeah, they talked
And
about
they're
how
one of the Torchwoods.
they talked about
And
how
the Rift was mentioned and stuff and everything.
they talked about how Torchwood 1 was destroyed at Canary Wharf, which we saw in the Series 2 finale.
Yeah.
Then there's one in Glasgow with a weird guy, and then Torchwood 4 was gone missing. So this is Torchwood 3 in Cardiff because of the Rift. It's all connected.
Yeah.
And also at the very end, Jack basically said, you know, he can't die. And if you pay attention to his dialogue and you've seen Doctor Who, you'll know it's because of what happened in the Parting of the Ways
Yeah.
with Bad Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was resurrected and now he can't die. And he doesn't even know why.
Yeah. And he's looking for the doctor, the special kind of doctor.
To explain it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that way it connected all the stuff together. It was very clever. So anything else you want to really say about like characters or plot on this?
No, I think like in general it's kind of, there's not really much you can say about it because we haven't developed much of a story with the characters. Like we're basing a lot of things we're talking about with Jack Harkness and stuff off things we know from Doctor Who. So
yeah,
I think
I liked the knife thing. How her amnesia broke because she saw the knife.
Yeah, and how that was explained by Susie as well.
And
was
that
good.
and that makes sense because Jack wouldn't be able to anticipate that Susie had the knife.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was a great plot, but there's not a lot that we can really
True.
really argue about on it.
Yeah. All we can really say is that Russell T Davies did a fantastic job.
Did a really good job, yeah.
Yeah. He's one of the most consistent TV writers I've ever seen. For me personally. The only parts there was only one part that was a little bit ridiculous, and that was the very end with the pterodactyl.
Oh yeah.
That was dumb.
No, it was kind of comedic though.
Yeah, it was. Also, at viewing time, some people feel that way about when Jack's standing on top of the building, but then when you have the context that he can't die, it makes sense why he wouldn't care.
Yeah. That's true. But then why would he just be standing on top of a building? I guess just to hang out, think for a little bit.
I suppose meditate. No one can find him up there.
True.
All right, so let's get to some of the more stylish elements that I really want to talk about because these are quite interesting. One thing about this episode that I really liked was the direction.
Yeah.
There were a lot of close-ups. There was a lot of great panning shots. They also, if you noticed, this show right off the bat is using like HD cameras, so it's very before its time.
Yeah.
It was gritty. It was just.
There's more montages. Which is pretty good, I think, especially when you're introducing a whole new show, to really condense a lot of information. Like using montages is good, and I think they used it really well.
Yeah. like, to me, what this show is, it's kind of like what I wish crime shows were like, because I find that I'm not particularly big on crime shows, probably because they're a bit too grounded for me, like shows like CSI and NCIS, whereas because this has that added bit of, like, drop of magic to it, it kind of adds another layer. It's quite unique.
Yeah.
It's funny because they made a reference to CSI, like, they're like, oh, it's like CSI Cardiff, like, within the show.
Yeah.
And they said it right after I said it.
Very self-aware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of like CSI Cardiff, except it has that special Doctor Who touch to it, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's such a unique idea.
Well, that episode was like CSI Cardiff. I'm not sure about the rest. What the rest of it's going to be like, right?
You have to wait and see, I suppose. But yeah, I thought the direction was excellent, especially around where, like, it would follow Gwen where she was going. So definitely portrayed the point of view. I loved all the close-ups where, like, she was having amnesia, and the close-ups on the knife and the faded stuff. That was great.
The texture of it and everything as well was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know I mentioned, like, I was a little bit critical of the outside shots of color grading when we did The Runaway Bride. But with this, I thought the color grading was really good, and it was not, like, overly saturated, but it had the right tone of sort of. It wasn't quite dull, but it had the like.
It's kind of blue, like, and a little bit washed, but not that bad.
Yeah.
It was like the right tone.
But it was a lot deeper than Doctor Who is. It's because obviously the target audience, the mood is a lot darker, and it's I liked it a lot. It was a nice change.
I thought the rain scene at the start was a bit like, well, I just thought the rain was just a bit silly.
Was it a bit over
Just
the top?
Yeah. But then I don't know, I just find raining scenes sometimes in movies and TV shows, just like the rain, you're just like, man, this just looks horrible. I don't even want to watch this. It looks that bad.
Yeah, I suppose they have that in like romantic films sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. I mean, it is fake rain, so it's not gonna be natural.
Yeah.
It's really, like, ridiculous how much it was raining. But I suppose
it wasn't explained why the rain just stopped as well.
Oh no,
which was a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it stopped obviously because of the glove, and it was like the energy around it or something.
Yeah.
But I suppose it didn't really.
It's kind of no, but that's okay. That's a nitpick. That's definitely a nitpick.
Yeah. But overall, I thought the direction was fantastic, and also just like there's so many great shots, just establishing shots, close-up shots, just everything. It was really good. Really good. I loved
it all flowed.
I loved the scenes in the police station, how it panned between rooms as she walked through them.
Yeah. I like the scene when they're all pretending to ignore her when she goes in, and you follow Jack just walking down the stairs and stuff. You kind of see it kind of from her point of view of her just like looking around, and that was really well done.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought I really liked one bit of direction I really liked was how when she was typing what she was trying to remember, she would type out a name and then it would cut to a shot, like a scene with that person.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That was really good. So yeah, that's all I got to say about the direction. Really, I just thought it was absolutely spanking good.
Yeah. Spanking good.
But but as good as the direction was, something that I thought was even more superb was the score.
Yeah.
That
I thought I didn't notice it I noticed it at some points, where it really picked up and it was really good.
Yeah.
But it had definitely more of a modern feel to it.
So
at points.
The score from Army of Ghosts Doomsday was revamped to make this one. So this is like a finished version of that.
Right.
So it has a kind of similar vibe to what we got there, but it's a lot more fuller. So for this show, for Torchwood, the score was predominantly done by Ben Foster.
Ben Foster.
Ben Foster conducts the orchestra for Murray Gold's Doctor Who tracks.
Right.
And I know that Murray Gold came in and helped with some of the Torchwood music. Like he was there he was like a secondary, but he was primarily focused on doing the main show. But it's the majority of it is Ben Foster, and I thought it was excellent. I love how everything. It's like all the music that you hear, a lot of it's in reverse. Like there's a lot of reverse hats in it, but not necessarily drums, but just reverse sounds, and it kind of gives that feeling of like this doesn't feel right, something's off,
wonkiness and stuff.
And to put those words into an example, we're going to be listening to our first track of the episode for Torchwood, and we're going to be listening to the Torchwood track, which is called Everything Changes. There.
That was good.
Excellent.
That was at the start, wasn't it?
It plays throughout. There's lots of different variations of it, but yeah, it does play at the start.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant.
I think it's really good as well. I like the bass, the synth stabs at the start.
Yeah,
it's really
It's also got this really good, like nice violin as well.
Yeah. Those strings in the middle.
Yeah. It's exactly the kind of score you would want for this show, if you get what I'm saying. It just feels right. You got all the reverse noises, you got the violin, you got the bass. Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Bow, 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 bow.
Yeah, I agree. It's got that wonkiness that really help with the mood and what direction the episode was taking. So
well, it's interesting because that was something that I loved about the score from Bad Wolf Parting the Ways, how Murray Gold took the sound that you usually hear in game shows and he made it all wonky and distorted, and that's what I loved about that score, and this one has a similar effect in a way.
Yeah.
Oh, just excellent music, I think, from this episode.
Very good.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to you seeing Torchwood. Just like one of the main reasons was just so you could hear the music, because it's very different, but it's great.
I do like it. There's a lot of reversed strings and stuff.
This is the first episode of Doctor Who canon to use the F word and many other expletives. Yes. The first one obviously being that guy who drank the coffee. He says, "I don't know what's going on. It's a fucking disgrace."
Yeah.
There is a production error. A poster advertising a Doctor Who exhibition in Cardiff can be briefly seen in the background shot.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of meta.
Yes.
It's a little bit too meta.
Possibly, yeah. There was a scene where Jack mentioned retcon. It's a tongue-in-cheek reference to retroactive continuity. It's a means of covering up plot discrepancies and used in many sci-fi shows. Other names were considered for the retcon were Goldfish or Scooter. So the viewership for the first episode of Torchwood was 2.4 million.
Oh my, that's real low.
Well, compared to Doctor Who. But this, for a niche sci-fi show that was on BBC Three at the time, that's actually quite a good rating, especially because it was later at night, like it was broadcast at like 10 p.m.
Right.
So considering that, I think it did pretty well.
Okay. Was Doctor Who on BBC One?
Yeah. BBC One at prime time, like 5:30.
That makes a lot of sense.
Whereas
that's really good then. 2.4 is really good.
Whereas Torchwood was BBC Three at about 9:30 or 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And it's a niche sci-fi show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had it not been a Doctor Who spin-off, it probably would have gotten even less than that, depending on the advertising and how well that worked.
Yeah.
But considering the circumstances, 2.4 is a good number for them. All right, so your conclusion and rating out of 10 for Everything Changes.
I think it was a great opening to a series that is definitely going to be very interesting, and it didn't really introduce any themes that I'm not used to from watching Doctor Who, so not a lot of it was outlandish and it made a lot of sense to the story. Whereas I don't know, if I was watching Torchwood off the bat, it might have been a bit jarring to see what was going on, but I'm not going to take that into account. That's just an observation. I think the acting was really good. I think the direction was perfect and the writing was perfect as well. And
the score.
Score was perfect too. And just, yeah, it was just a really well done, really nice and gritty, and hit those the textural notes that I like in some shows. Yeah, I think I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Everything Changes is a fantastic way to start Torchwood. All the characters get a great opening. The return of Captain Jack was well appreciated, and I loved the way they delved into a deeper psychology behind him. The links to the Doctor Who show were great. And yeah, overall, I just thought it was a really smooth production. The direction was excellent. The writing was excellent. The acting was excellent. The score was excellent. It was just a great way to begin. It was dark. It was gritty. And I also think the twist at the end with Susie's suicide was really dark for Doctor Who canon, but it made sense for the story, and it really established the tone. I just think Gwen Cooper was a great point of view character, and Captain Jack is a really interesting lead. Like, now that he's the lead character, it's different to when he was just a side.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think this is a fantastic episode. My only nitpick is the pterodactyl. That's it.
Yeah.
Apart from that, it was fantastic.
Minor thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Nice.
Bloody great.
Very nice.
So, next time on Torchwood, we have the second episode, which is called Day 1.
Okay.
So what are you...
First day at work.
Yeah, what are you anticipating and looking forward to for the next episode of Torchwood?
Orientation day for Gwen Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know. We'll see. We'll kind of just looking forward to seeing more connections to the main show, but also seeing a whole new universe, or like story universe get laid out and get built upon, and hopefully be done well. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Excellent. Well, we will see you all next time for Day 1.